everyone! Today we are going to be doing our second project, and this will be a very simple car game. Now, how we're going to do this project is first I'm going to give you a preview on what the game will look like when you have built it. Now, I will then ask you to pause and try the game yourself. So this is optional. You don't have to try it yourself. You can just go to solutions and just watch them. So if you've done it or haven't done it, so it doesn't matter, you can go through the solution with me and I will explain it. And if you haven't understand the solution at all, don't worry, I will explain it again at the end when I have finished building the thing. Okay, so let's go on to our second project. See you there. So first I'm going to give you a preview on what this game will look like. So here is what it's telling me to type in something with this symbol. So I'm going to type in start, car started, stop, car stopped, help, start to start the car, stop to stop the car, quit to quit, and then if I type in some round letters, sorry I don't understand that, quit, and then it breaks out of the whole loop. Okay, so as I told you before, it's very simple, so it's not really realistic. And now I'm going to go and tell you to go ahead and try this project on your own and try and get this output. Now you don't have to do it, but I'll see you again a few seconds later. Welcome back to my project. And first, we need to start off by defining a variable. And this variable is going to be the variable that is going to take in whatever the user types in. So I'm going to call this variable command, and I'm going to set it to an empty string because I haven't typed in anything yet. Okay. So since I haven't typed anything, I'm just going to go ahead and go into my while loop straight away. So while this command, so this little space here, so whatever the user types in, so while the command dot lower, okay, so the reason I wrote dot lower is because if the user types in something with capitals, it will just convert it to lower and it will be much easier for me because I don't need to write all the possibilities. Okay, so while the command dot lower is not equal to quit, so not equaled, not equal, not like the equal sign individually. You need to put this exclamation mark there so it says not equal. So just put my quotation marks around here. So while the command dot lower is not equal to the statement quit, then I'm just going to ask the user to type in something. So the way we do this is with the input function. So input, and then I'm just going to type in this little symbol here, and that will show that we want the user to type in something. And remember when I told you in the first project, whenever you use the input function, you always need to store it in a variable. So I'm going to just reassign this variable again. So this will be command and this will be command now. Okay, so this is a different one, so it will use this, so it doesn't matter if you use this one as our variable. Now we have done this logic over here, just simple logic. Now we will go and use our if statements to determine each result for each statement. Okay, so if our command, so if this space, if the answer for this, which is our command variable up here, so if command is equal to, so remember two equal signs, so if it's equal to start, so wait, I just need to add this here, so lower, remember, because if we add it here, it's not enough. So if the command equals start, so it doesn't matter if they type in caps, it will just be converted to this one. So if the command is equal to start, or I want to print down the car started, okay? Because it has started, and then I'm just gonna put dot dot dot. And now this is my first condition over here. Now I need to define my second condition. And if I want to do that, I want to put elif, because this second condition isn't going to be my last. So elif, or else if, you can say, but type in elif. So elif, the command, is equal to stop. So if this is equal to stop, we want to tell the user that the car has stopped by saying car stopped. Okay? Now these are our two statements that determine whether the car has started or stopped. Okay? Now we want to do the ones that give the reader the instructions if they type in help, and tell the user, sorry, not reader, tell the user that we didn't understand them if they don't type in one of these statements. So first I'm going to start by defining the help one. So elif command is equal to help. Then I'm going to print, and I'm going to put triple quotes, because remember when I told you if you want the multiple lines, use triple quotes or use \n, but I prefer using triple quotes because it's much easier. So if command is equal to help, I want to print down start is equal to start the car, stop to stop the car, and quit to quit the game. Sorry about that slow typing there. And for our final condition so far, so not out of the whole project, I'm going to put in if all of these commands aren't said, then I want to print out sorry, I did not understand that. Okay? So I didn't understand that. Okay, so now we have done this bit. Let's run it so far to check if we have done anything wrong or not. Okay, so beautiful. This thing is coming up. That's good. That's a good sign so far. So I'm going to type in start, car started, stop, car stopped, help. And there you go. If you can see, this says this indent comes over here. So if we want to correct that, all I need to do is just take away this indent over here. So I'm just going to select all of this right now, and I'm going to press Shift Tab 2 times. Okay. So now if I run this, it should now come without the indent. There we go. So now I'm just going to test the other ones. Sorry, I did not understand that. Okay. I'm going to type in quit. It did not understand that because I did not write that as a condition. So I'm going to add in another condition right after here. And I'm going to type in elif. So elif, whoops, we need to write in our condition here. So elif, the command is equal to quit, then whoops, if the command is equal to quit, then I want to print, whoops, I don't want to print anything, sorry. I want to break out of the whole loop because they said quit. Okay. So let's test it again, but before we do that, I just want to edit this tiny bit here. instead of just writing all this code, it wastes our time a lot. So instead of doing that, I'm just going to type in true, because that will, if I type in while true, that will mean that all of this code is running right now. Otherwise, if as soon as this says break, this will turn to false. Okay, so it won't show, but it will turn to false. Okay, so now let's test it. So I'm going to type in start, car started, stop, car stopped, help, that's working, random words, that's working, quit, that's working. Good. Now I just want to show you one more thing. So if I type in stop and then I type in stop again, it comes up 2 times, and that doesn't make sense at all, because you can't stop a car 2 times. Now if you do this with start, you can't start a car 2 times as well. So we need to add this logic into our project. So if we want to do this, we need to find another variable. So started, and this variable tells us whether the car is started or not. So I'm going to set this to false, so a boolean, and I'm going to tweak this bit of code right now. So if the command is equal to start, I'm going to put another if statement in here. So if started, so I don't need to put if started equals to true or false, because if you just write down if started, that will just mean that the started is equal to true if you write it like that. Otherwise, you have to write if started is equal to false if you want to determine that it's false. So if started is equal to true, then I want to print down car started. Okay, car is already started. Just solve these errors here, and then put an exclamation mark here, so it's like we're shouting at the user. And then after you put this if statement, we obviously need to put else. If none of that happens, I'm just going to indent this, and if this doesn't happen, I'm going to print car started and then set started to false, because if the user tries to start it again, then it will say car is already started. So not false, true. Okay, now we have done the started bit, we need to go to stop and tweak that a bit as well. So like before, if started is equal to false, so I'm just gonna put 2 equal signs. So if started is equal to false, then let me just so if not started, okay, so instead of putting if started is equal to false, we can put not started, so it will be the opposite of true, which is false. Because as you saw, when I hovered over that yellow line, it said expression can be simplified, and I simplify it. So if not started, then I want to print car is already stopped. Okay, so excuse my spelling errors, please. And again, like before, I want to put in that else block and indent this. And now I want to set started to false. So if they try to type in false again, if they try to type in stop again, then it'll say car has already stopped. Okay, so let's test our game again. So I'm going to press Shift and F10, and I'm going to type in start. Car is already started, that's working. Stop. I'm going to test the other statements as well. help, that's still working. That's still working. And if I type in quit, it's working. Okay, so now we have built this. I'm going to explain this with comments, okay? So as I told you in the last project, comments are extra useful in your projects, but remember to space them out. So let me start explaining. So this command is equal to an empty string, okay? So what this variable does, it records what the user has typed in, okay? So it records what the user has typed in. So it records the user's input. And this variable over here records whether, so it records whether the car has started. Okay. Now this while loop is saying while true, so that means while loop is running. Okay, so if it says while true, that just means we want to run this while loop. And we said this, we just reassign this command into an input, and we put dot lower. So this dot lower method will convert into lowercase. Now, the reason I am writing literally like every statement on each line is because I want you to see what each line does. Now, if you're doing your own project on your own, don't do this. I'm only doing this to explain to you. So don't do this. You can do it for every variable, but don't do every line. Otherwise, your code will start getting really messy, okay? Now, here is if the command is equal to start. So I'm not going to write a comment for that one. So I'm just going to explain it. So this command is the answer of this command variable. And the answer for this will be this empty string over here. Now, so if the command is equal to start, I'm going to run this loop that checks if it started or not. So if started, so remember, I told you, if true, if it's true, then I want to print down the car is already started. Otherwise, if it has already started, so true, then I want to print if it hasn't started, sorry, because this is true, then I'm going to print car started and set started to true, so the person does not type in start again. So I'm just going to write that down with comments. Set car to started equals true. Okay, so now this is the code that determines whether the car is started and if the user has typed in start or not. And this command over here, so elif or else if the command is equal to stop, then I want to print car is already stopped. Okay, so if not started, so where in this start statement over here, I said started was equal. If you wrote it like this, that would be true. But over here, I wrote if not started. Okay, so that means false, because this is true and not makes it opposite, so false. So if false, so that means the car has stopped, print car is already stopped. Otherwise, if it hasn't been stopped yet, print car stopped and then set started to false, so they can't stop the car again. Now here, this is the help command. Now, if they type in the command help, then I want to print out the instructions over here. So this help command brings out all the instructions over here. Now here it says elif command is equal to quit, so that means if the user types in quit, then break. So what break does, it exits the while loop altogether, okay? So it exits the while loop altogether. And if the user hasn't typed any of these commands over here, then that means our Python interpreter hasn't understand, so we just have to print out, sorry, I did not understand that. Okay, so great job on this project, everyone. And this is the whole project. So as I told you, it is way longer than the one we did before, so the guessing game. And please subscribe to this. Please subscribe to my channel and comment down in the comments below to tell me if you want to do any other projects, okay? Bye!